Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2 coming to you with another video. Just out here in the garage, a bunch of stuff I want to talk about tonight. Got some guns to show you. Thought we would talk about all of the evil in the world, if you guys haven't heard about what happened here in Texas today. And also wanted to reply to a couple of comments that I got on my Q Honey Badger video. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about, I guess, the evil first, before we get into some other gun stuff. If you guys don't know, there was a horrific shooting here in Texas today at an elementary school. And I guess as I'm filming this, it's 18 students at an elementary school, and I believe 3 people have been killed, adults. And, when it's this early, when all the news is coming out, it's always changing about what is being reported. And before I give you guys my opinions on things, right now what I'm hearing is that this 18-year-old scumbag was already being chased by the police or wanted for murder or something. Because I guess he killed his grandmother or something, and then he ran into a school. So from that aspect, it doesn't look like it was premeditated or something. But then I guess he supposedly made some comments online saying he was going to do something like that. But anyway, that's what I heard. Of course, things are always changing. But I don't know how this is really going to play out when it comes to the news, because there's 2 things about the story that the anti-gunners are really going to kind of sink their claws into. One is that the kid was 18 years old. We have one of those disgruntled, evil, assholes. When you see the picture of the guy, you can just see the evil in his eyes. There's that, and then of course it's an elementary school, so you have the tragedy of the loss of life of such young children, and it's horrific. The truth is, evil is going to exist in this world, and laws don't stop evil. I've known people in this world, well, not that evil, that they would, kill kids. I've known evil people that have no problem destroying the lives of other people. In fact, they probably get a lot of joy from it. And I don't understand that type of evil. I have people that, for whatever reason, I don't like or don't get along with. But, I wish no ill upon them. And I don't really have an answer to it. It's because it doesn't really, I guess, have an answer. It's illogical. It's you can't quantify it. And I live in a world of trying to figure things out. Everything has a pattern and a purpose. And when things like this happen that have no purpose, no logic or reason to it, it doesn't compute with me. It doesn't make any sense. But there are things about this story that I don't think are going to play very well into the anti-gun narrative, because it appears that the person that committed this tragedy is not white. I guess they're Hispanic, and so it doesn't fit that narrative. They can't use that white person against other people narrative. And it appears, as of right now, it was committed with using a handgun. That's what they said, a handgun or a pistol, but no other information. And some sources are saying it was a rifle, potentially, of some kind. So you have a handgun or a pistol, and you have a non-white person. So I don't know how this is going to play. It has a couple things that the anti-gunners are going to want to use, and it's a couple things that aren't going to really play very well. So I don't know how this is going to be. But I always find it really funny. And I don't talk about it. And this is not me being a conspiracy theorist, because I don't, think that there's any grand design or grand intelligence going on. But I always find it really funny. Okay, maybe funny should not be the right word. I guess, it's funny like a rhetorical sense, or ironic, I guess, is the more correct term. That anytime especially on a national level, something is about to happen pro-gun, pro-gun rights. Something happens that gives fuel to the anti-gunner. So, for example, a few years ago, we had literally on the day of Congress going to vote on the Hearing Protection Act, which would take silencers off of the National Firearms Act list of regulated weapons. We had the congressional baseball shooting. Like literally the people that were going to vote on that bill were at that baseball game, and some crazed lunatic who ended up being a Bernie Sanders supporter went with a rifle and tried to kill a bunch of people, a bunch of congressmen. And it's like, wow, the day that they were going to vote on that, something happened. Coincidences happen. It happens. But it always seems like anytime something pro-gun's about to happen, one of these events occurs. And what's coming up right now, we have the big Supreme Court case regarding the New York Pistol and Rifle Association. And by all accounts, it appears it's probably going to go on the pro-gun side. And if it's written by Justice Thomas, it might be a very broad ruling, which means it could strike down a whole bunch of other gun laws, or at least force the courts, the lower courts anyway, to have to follow strict scrutiny when it comes to the Second Amendment. And all of a sudden, we've had this thing in Buffalo. We've had this thing here in Texas. It's really odd. Ooh, there's some thunder outside. Yeah, it's raining here in North Texas. And I don't know. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. I just find it ironic, or odd, more than just a coincidence that we can go months and years without any major event happening. And then as soon as something possibly pro-gun is about to happen, the event happens. It's really weird, really weird. And I've always believed that somehow there's a connection. Like I've seen things, I don't know if it's like a groupthink thing or this intangible, I guess, some people call it, like when it deals with economics, the invisible hand that guides things. It's almost like collectively something gets triggered in people. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. I can't define it. It just seems like, oh, something pro-gun's about to happen. And I'm not saying that the people that commit these atrocities are even aware of firearms politics. I'm not even saying that's the case. But it's like something's going on. It's like, here comes the Supreme Court up, and here it comes. I already kind of thought it was going to happen. I mean, trust me, if the Republicans take control of Congress in November, okay, which it looks like they probably will, and let's just say they have some vote on pro-gun legislation that looks like it's going to go through, I can almost guarantee you, and I won't talk about it, I already know a week before it happens, there's going to be a major event. It always happens that way. Why? Why is that timing more? For me, it's more than just coincidence. But anyway, I don't know. We really have to wait for all the news to come out to figure out what really happened. A lot of times the initial reports are not what everyone thinks they are. As I said, there's indications that this person was already wanted for murder, already killed his grandmother. He was already being chased by the police when he did this. So, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But we'll find out. And I'm sure there will be lots of calls for changing this or that. And of course, we already probably on social media are seeing people go, we got to ban guns, or having armed teachers is a bad idea, even though this was a school where no guns are allowed. It's a gun-free zone. And that's where these things happen. And I guess people, and you talk to these people, try to talk to them rationally and say, so nobody was there with a gun. So the kids were safe. Now, an evil person bent on doing evil things shows up with a gun. Now, nobody can defend themselves. What are they going to do? They go into a lockdown? I mean, come on. I work in the public schools, and I see what a lockdown drill is. And every time these lockdown drills happen, I get upset because I know you're just a sitting duck. You know, you sit there and go, you kind of run the scenario through your mind. Like, what if this was a real event? What would you do? And I can tell you, being in a little dark room with the door kind of closed isn't going to stop anything. You're helpless. You're defenseless. Um, and you know, I talked, or I didn't talk to these people, but I saw some people commenting on one of the local Facebook groups dealing with the local education system here. And one of the parents said, well, even arming teachers is a bad idea because you really want to have guns in a classroom with teachers that are getting fed up with how kids are acting? Like, you really think that a teacher that is there, that is trained, and cares about their students is just going to shoot one because they're acting up in class? That's absolutely ridiculous. People have no idea what they're saying. You know, it doesn't make any sense. People speaking strictly from, logic, the heart, not the mind, As an INTJ personality type, I live here, and so the world is, as I said, everything is quantifiable in the world. Everything can be figured out mathematically or systematically or justified or through rationale or something rational creates everything. Everything can be mapped out. And when things that are irrational happens, it's hard for people like me to understand, and people that work in the world of emotion, and that's where they reside 90% of the time, are perplexing to me because nothing good ever comes from here. I know everyone says you got to have the heart and the emotions and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to real, serious situations of life and death, it doesn't come from here. It should come from here. It's why when we send people to space, we make sure that they are of the right mindset. I mean, I'm always amazed when you look at what happened with Apollo 13. You guys know about what happened with Apollo 13. And these guys are in this little tiny capsule in the middle of space. And there's a major explosion. And when they radio back to Houston, they're calm. They're collected. It's amazing to me. I mean, they're facing death. You're hearing people that have to rationally know and logically know this could be the end of their lives. And they're calm, cool, and collect. And it's just amazing to me. And that's the kind of people that need to be instituting policies and laws and thinking about this stuff. Not people that just go right to here and go, guns are bad, oh my God, I can't believe that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, cool, calm, and collected. And that's the way you have to face adversity. You have to face, things like this. So tonight, my heart goes out to those families. Unimaginable loss. And for a lot of us, I know that doesn't make any sense. But there's evil in the world, and we have to be prepared for that evil. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this. And I'm just curious, do you guys see any correlation? And remember, correlation doesn't equal causation. But do you guys ever notice that whenever something pro-gun's about to happen, one of these events happens? I'm not saying they're related. I'm not saying there's a grand conspiracy. I'm just saying it's very odd, isn't it? Very odd. That's my thoughts on all that. Let's talk about a couple other things. I was meeting one of my local subscribers, Ken, today. You guys know I've reviewed a few of his guns. I have 2 guns already on loan to the channel from him, and a few that I've already reviewed. And he says, "Hey, I'm going out of the country for a couple weeks. I want to get you a couple more while I'm gone to work on." I said, "Okay." But man, oh man, did he deliver today. He got me 3 I'm excited about. So let's go through these today. So let's see here. I guess the main one he really wanted me to shoot was this one. This is a Canic. And we have the Canic. Look at this thing. This is called the Canic, I think it's the Rival, is what they call it. It's the SFX Rival. It's kind of a titanium color that's probably not coming across on camera very well. Let me see if I can get that. With those gold accents, that is a really, really cool color. Let me see if I can get some close-ups of that. Look at that. That thing is pretty darn awesome. And you guys know I've really enjoyed shooting the Canics in the past. You know, a lot of people will say the Canics should be avoided simply because they're made in Turkey, okay? And I get that from a political standpoint. Turkey might not be our friend. But Canic has really surprised me. I don't personally own any Canics, but I'm really surprised by the quality that goes into these guns for the price point. I want to say Ken told me that this was like a $500 gun, and it has their competition trigger in it, and I guess a really nice barrel. I mean, the machine work on this barrel is amazing, really amazing. The whole gun looks just beautiful, and it has a very nice presentation with it. You got a holster. It might not be the world's greatest holster in the world. I do notice that the gun kind of sits in there a little loose, but it matches the gun, and it definitely retains the gun really nice. So that's kind of a cool thing. Looks like we get a few magazines here, and look at the base plate of those magazines. They're also in that gold color. We get a magazine loader. It is optics ready, so you get all these different mounting plates, and it does appear that these mounting plates are metal. They're not polymer like you get with Glock, so that's already an upgrade. And I think you get some extra base plates for other magazines that you may have that are from Canic that you can put on that gold color with. That's really, really neat. And what else comes in this kind of titanium-looking box? I mean, the box isn't titanium, it's polymer, but the color matches the gun. You also get a couple of tools. You get some back straps. It does come with a nice little tool. One of the things that I do wish that I owned, and that I do wish B&T included in some of their really high-end guns, is they have a really nice kind of tool set that I want to buy. And I kind of feel like maybe they should include that with some of their guns. So, you know, if you need to remove the barrel or handguard or whatever. But then check out this thing. This is a little tool. It's a little wrench, but it looks like a little Canic. Isn't that really cool? And here in the bottom, you have all the different, I guess, things that go with it. It's kind of cool. So you have all these different like little parts that can go on the magazine release is what it is. So that's just really, really cool. How cute is that? A little tool, which is the shape of the gun. So let me see if I can put all this back up in there before I move on to the next gun here. But yeah, I am really impressed with the presentation of this firearm. It is really, really neat and really, really cool. So Canic definitely gets some bonus points before I even shoot it on that presentation. So good on them. And it says here, Canic Superior Firearms, I guess on the cover. So yeah, that's kind of neat right there. Then we have a Kimber 6S. Been anxious to try to shoot one of these things. I like Kimbers. And some of the 1911s I've shot have been kind of spotty when it comes to reliability and build quality, but I've heard great things about this gun. Chambered in .357 Magnum. I know I just did a video where I talked about barrel length, so I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy this being a snub-nosed, but we'll see. Now, when I do dry fire this thing, of course I'm going to check make sure it's empty. I have to say that the double action on this is really smooth. Really smooth, really even, no grit at all. And the only thing I don't like about it is that it's hammerless. I mean, it's an internal hammer. It has a hammer. So it's double action only. But for a double action only snub-nosed, that's pretty darn smooth. I'm really impressed with that. So we're going to get that to the range. And something else, an AR. Now, you guys know I own one LMT, which is my Mark 18 Mod 0 kind of clone-ish. It's not exact, but it's an all LMT gun. I haven't reviewed any of their piston guns, and that's what we're going to do soon, because I have an LMT, Lewis Machine and Tool, Defender 2000. So this is the, I guess, more of the mil-spec type of lower from LMT. It's not the Mars L or the Mars LS, which I have, which has more of the ambi controls. This is more of the kind of the standard. The one thing on this gun that I think has been changed is the mag release has this Odin Works extended one, which is really nice. I mean, you can reach that really well. But all the internals are the same. I think we have the charging handle, we have this LMT sights, and it has that LMT short stroke gas piston system, which is a really well designed gas piston system, because it is my understanding that this is about as close to the style of the gas piston system that you would find in a AR-18. So it's not overly complicated, and it's easy to take apart and easy to clean. And I guess this is the same gas system or piston system that's in the new Estonian rifles that were part of that contract, I think. I'm going to have to do my research on that. But yeah, it looks really good, really cool. And I did ask Ken if I can move this vertical grip. I like mine to be a little bit further back, and he said I can do that. So I will be moving that before I take this to the range. But man, this is one nice and well-built firearm. It's upgraded with a monolithic upper, the gas piston system, but it's a mil-spec lower. It feels solid. I think the only thing right now from just handling it here on the workbench that I don't like is the fact that it is an H-bar, so a heavy-barreled AR. I think I prefer a different contour on that barrel. It's a little bit front-heavy, but otherwise it seems to be really nice. I think he also said he changed out the stock. It had a MOE stock on it, and he upgraded it to a different Magpul one, which I think this rifle looks really nice and fantastic. So that's what I have coming up. I'll try to get this to the range this week. Tomorrow, because I was supposed to go to the range today actually and shoot the other two guns of Ken's, I have a CZ97B, it's like the CZ75 but in 45, and I have a Langdon Tactical Beretta 92 to go shoot. I was going to do that today, but I ended up having a little family emergency. I had to go to the hospital. No, it's nobody in my immediate family, so don't worry about that. But it's you guys know, my wife is a twice widow, and my stepsons, it's essentially two of my stepsons' grandmother. So it's my wife's first mother-in-law, and that's who it was. So just had a little scare, went to the hospital, so we handled that all day today. So we really didn't get to go to the range or anything else. And what else did I want to talk about? I know this is getting to be a long video, really long monologue. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about some comments I got on my range report on the Q Honey Badger. I had two people. One was a little bit snarky, and the other one was a very nice comment who disagreed with me. And I'll start with that one first. And I've already responded to him. So he had a really nice comment. He said he disagreed with me because he felt it was odd that I would complain about the Gucci-ness, the high-endness of the Q Honey Badger, but not complain about that when it came to the B&T. And I responded to him that I still feel that the Q Honey Badger is a great gun. Okay, it's a great, great gun. But at its core and at its heart, it's still an AR-15. And I can go out and procure all the parts for that gun and build it myself for like $1,300 or $1,400 less. Okay, those guns go for about $4,000 on Gunbroker. I can get all those parts and make it a lot cheaper. But I can also build an AR here on the workbench using some tools I have right here in front of me for a heck of a lot cheaper. The gun is just an AR-15. And yes, you can buy specialty parts or things anodized in a particular color or machined a particular way. But at its heart, it's still an AR-15, So that was my complaint. I was not saying it was a bad gun. I was just saying, well, if price is a consideration, and Q, while it's a company that interests me, it's not on the same level of interest as HK or B&T, and that's just a personal preference thing. I just don't see where the value is in it at that price point, but it's definitely a great gun. So I can build an AR-15 here, but I can't build a B&T. I can't go out to any company and just buy parts that are B&T clone parts and just build it. But I can go out and I can buy a barrel from this company, an upper from this company, a lower from this company, a parts kit from this company, a stock from this company, a handguard from this company, a muzzle device from this, and put it all together and make an AR-15. I can't do that with B&T. So I understand why B&T costs more, because it's more proprietary. But then his rebuttal to me was, well, a Strybog is only $750 and essentially is the same gun. And I said, yes, essentially it is the same gun, operating on the same principle, but I can't put a B&T bolt into a Strybog. I can't put on the lower from a B&T onto a Strybog upper. But when it comes to an AR-15, I can put a Q lower receiver on an Anderson upper receiver, or vice versa. I can put on the cheapest lower receiver and mate it and build up the most expensive gun with all other parts. It doesn't matter where the parts come from. I could do that with an AR-15. I can't do it with a B&T, so therefore that's why it costs more, and I can justify it. But that was my reasoning, but we had a great conversation, and I appreciate him disagreeing with me, and I like that. I like that. Then there was the snarky comment. The snarky comment. And it was, sometimes I think when these people write the comments, they sometimes start off from a perspective of where I can tell they're talking to me. And then as the comment goes on, I think they think I don't see the comment, and then they're talking to other people that are watching the video. So he started off his comment by saying something to the fact of, you need to do more research before you make your videos. The Q is one of the best firearms out there. Other reviewers have said it's the greatest thing, blah, blah, blah. Now, obviously, the guy probably owns a Q Honey Badger, okay? And that's perfectly fine. And as I said, I didn't trash the gun. I said it's fantastic. It's a fantastic gun. I just had a couple of small gripes about it. What, the finish and how the stock rubbed up against my chin. I mean, how's that going to, watching someone else's review isn't going to change the fact that I had problems with the finish, or it doesn't conform to my body. That's what it is. The gun was exceptionally accurate. Okay, maybe it didn't run subsonic, but I said in the video I could adjust the gas block, but I don't adjust other people's guns, and that's just what it is. And I didn't trash it. But he says I need to go out and do more research. And then he goes to, I guess, talking to the rest of the people that might be seeing the video and going, this guy is an idiot. It's like some guy that drives a Toyota Camry talking about, what is it, the Nissan Skyline, or whatever it is. And I responded to him. Now, normally, I might delete the comment, because if they attack me personally, but this guy didn't attack me with like a name or anything, so I let it stand. And I replied to him, and I said, you know, you really need to do your research on my channel before commenting, because this is like an 8th grader learning that stars burn hydrogen, trying to explain how type M red dwarfs have full convection of hydrogen at their cores and are variable stars with variable luminosity and have lots of flares, and why they are not suitable candidates probably for habitable exoplanets. So, you know, I kind of know what I'm talking about, but I also review the guns from the perspective of an average gun guy. I fully tell you that I'm not Paul Harrell. I'm not, I'm not Rob Ski from the AK-47 74 Operators Union. I don't try to be. I don't have the tactical beard. I'm just a regular dude. That's all I am. I'm like one of your friends at the water cooler. And that's how I try to approach all of my videos. I don't do it from a position of, I know it all. I don't do it from a position of, I'm a special tactician, or I have special knowledge that I have that you don't have. I don't do it from a perspective of, you guys are just lucky that I'm sharing this with you. That's not how I make my videos. My videos are done from the perspective of somebody who enjoys guns, likes nice guns, and gets to shoot them. Let's say like this Kimber K6. Take it to the range and go, okay, this is the type of shooter I am. These are my strengths and weaknesses. I shoot the gun. This is what I like about it. This is what I don't like about it. This is how I shot the gun. And maybe you shoot it a little bit different. And that's okay. And maybe you love this gun and I don't. Or maybe I don't, or maybe I love a gun that you don't. That's okay too, right? But you don't got to berate me. You don't have to say I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's just the kind of stuff I got to deal with here on YouTube. It's kind of funny because I guess everyone's an armchair, quarterback. Everyone knows more. That's fine. That's fine. I know that when it comes to reviewing so many guns, I can't know everything about every gun, can I? And there's going to be things that I miss. There's going to be times that I really research a gun and I think I know a lot about it, and then it does not meet my expectations or doesn't perform that well. So anyway, there's just knuckleheads out there. But I'll let that comment stand. You guys can go back to my Q video. I'm sure you guys can find it and see my responses. But there you go. A long video, 31 minutes, 20 seconds. Wow. Long monologue tonight. And that's why I can't make these videos on the main channel. This is just for me, I guess out here just kind of talking. So we talked about evil in the world. We talked about some guns coming up for review and some crazy comments. So it's been a long one. If you've stuck around to the end, it means the world to me as always. So if you watch to the end, and thank you all for watching to the end. I absolutely love it. In fact, the reason I'm doing this long is Ken told me he likes to listen to these as he's driving or kind of walking around or whatever. And so that's why I'm kind of making it for Ken tonight, because Ken is awesome and letting me borrow these amazing guns, just like my friend D does. I'm so blessed. I'm blessed beyond my wildest dreams. So if you made it to the end of this video, say Ken's name. Just put Ken in your comments somehow. K-E-N, Ken. Because Ken is awesome, and I appreciated what he did for me today. And it was nice seeing him, and I'm doing this for him. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.